What's up, guys? This is Bolt Struck with Duck, and today we're talking about Antonio Gates, NFL's ninth greatest tight end of all time. But no, of course, this isn't my opinion, but if any of you guys are on Twitter, you've probably seen this account has been doing a top 10 list of all positions in NFL history, and somehow Gates wound up at 9. Which is crazy. I don't know what Gates did to these people's family over the last 5 years, but when he was playing, he was a consensus top 3 tight end of all time. And just in these 5 short years, he's missed out on being a first ballot Hall of Famer and is now apparently dropped to number 9 of all time. Yeah, so I just don't know where this Gates hate came from. Part of it might be the fact that, tight ends nowadays, aside from George Kittle, are pretty much just slot receivers at this point, right? Travis Kelce even being considered in the same conversation as Antonio Gates is pretty absurd to me, especially the way he gets schemed up by Andy Reid. It's just that he's not a tight end. He's just a larger slot receiver. So to me, that's part of it, is just the fact that Gates wasn't traditionally fast. He was more of a route runner, and so I think that kind of hinders him a bit. There's typically always an East Coast bias in sports, and probably the fact that Gates doesn't have a championship ring. Those are the 3 main things that I can think of, but obviously it's a team sport, and especially as a tight end, there's only so much you can do, right? And we all know, the flaws and the weird things that happen with all those Chargers teams. So let me take a step back. Is there any other position in any other sport where you're the greatest at the most important thing at that sport and you're not a Hall of Famer or one of the best, right? And the most important thing in football is scoring touchdowns. Obviously, that doesn't mean everything, but Antonio Gates is the all-time tight end touchdown leader. Could you imagine if this was any other position? So, for example, Emmitt Smith, Jerry Rice are the all-time leaders in touchdowns for receiver and running back. Could you imagine if they didn't make the Hall of Fame? I mean, the argument stops there, right? It's just ridiculous that he didn't get into the Hall of Fame, and then it's like he's already become just so forgotten. It's just absurdly weird, and it's like I don't even want to get into specifics of the names on this list, but there are some absurd names to get on here. In general, I see a lot of people overrating guys like Jason Witten, Shannon Sharpe as well, which is really weird because, Jason Witten, very similar era as Gates, Shannon Sharpe a little earlier. But it's like people with tight ends, for whatever reason, go really, really old, which, shout out for Kellen Winslow. Like, he deserves being on a top 10 list. But for some reason, people tend to go really, really old, and then people tend to go already throwing in, Travis Kelce, top 3, top 5. 49ers fans will tell you Kittle's already top 10. So I don't know why tight end gets treated like this. But what's happening to Gates is just absurd. One of the greatest tight ends of all time, the greatest touchdown scoring tight end of all time, and he deserved to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But let me know your guys' comments below. Where does Antonio Gates rank all time? Is he first, second, third, ninth? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more Chargers content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.